I give the floor to the representative of China. You have the floor.
Madam President, I thank Deputy Special Coordinator Alek Barov, Mr. Epstein, and Ms. Barghouti for their briefings. The question of Palestine is at the core of the Middle East issue. It is a matter of fairness and justice at the international level, pivotal to regional dynamics. Today, violence and death persist in Gaza. Tensions grip the West Bank. The foundation of the two-state solution continues to be eroded, and greater challenges are confronting the effort to settle the question of Palestine. The international community must reverse this negative trajectory with robust actions to end the suffering of the Palestinian people without delay and give Palestine the justice it deserves. China would like to highlight three imperatives. First, peace and stability must return to Gaza. The ceasefire agreement has not yet brought true peace, as bombings and strikes by Israel continue and its military occupation is being expanded, which have caused over 1,000 deaths among Gazans since, on average, one child is killed per day. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is dire. Essentials for survival are in short supply, and sanitary conditions appalling, with over 2 million people struggling to survive amid the ruins. History has repeatedly shown that security is mutual, as no country can build its own security upon the insecurity of others. Military occupation and pressurization would do nothing for lasting peace. We call on the parties, Israel in particular, to fully comply with the ceasefire agreement and bring about a genuine, lasting ceasefire in Gaza. Israel must fulfill its obligations under international humanitarian law as the occupying power, lift restrictions on humanitarian access, and support and secure aid deliveries by humanitarian agencies such as UNRWA. Second, tensions in the West Bank must be de-escalated and brought to an end. Despite strong appeals from the international community, tensions in the West Bank continue to grow. The occupying power has accelerated settlement expansion, remained permissive towards settler violence, and encroached on Palestinian territory. The economy of the West Bank is on the brink of collapse under the crippling restrictions and stranglehold, and the Palestinian Authority is facing a serious fiscal crisis. It was explicitly spelled out in Council Resolution 2334, an ICJ advisory opinion that illegal occupation and settlements imperil the viability of the two-state solution and must be ended immediately. Violating the legitimate rights of Palestinians and undermining the security and stability of the West Bank will only fuel hatred and eventually backfire. We urge Israel to immediately cease settlement activities, curb settler violence, and ensure accountability for attacks in all seriousness. Israel should lift the unjustified restrictions on the West Bank economy, return the withheld tax revenues the soonest, and stop undermining the foundation of the PA's governance. Third, the two-state solution must be fully implemented. The two-state solution is the only viable path to resolving the question of Palestine. It cannot be denied, nor can it be replaced. Gaza and the West Bank are inseparable parts of the state of Palestine. Any arrangements or the establishment of new mechanisms must be in line with the principle of Palestinians governing Palestine, respect the will of the Palestinian people, and advance rather than undermine the two-state solution. The international community should forge greater consensus, breathe new life into the prospect of the two-state solution, say no to any attempt to alter Palestine's demographic composition and redraw its map, oppose any unilateral actions that undermine the foundation of the two-state solution, and support the early establishment of an independent state of Palestine based on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital and enjoying full sovereignty. President, the question of Palestine has persisted for decades Though the fundamental framework for a solution was put in place long ago, the path to peace lies right beneath our feet. What is needed is political resolve and courage. War cannot go on forever and must give way to mutual understanding and mutual trust sooner rather than later. We call on the parties to prioritize the well-being of the Palestinian people and the peace and stability in the Middle East, working together to achieve a comprehensive, just and lasting solution to the question of Palestine. Without further delay, China remains committed to keeping up her tireless efforts to this end. I thank you, President.